When we look at error messages, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of weirdness going on. In many ways, you see a lot of really strange, surprising, challenging, just very confusing and very frustrating error messages. So we have to get it right. And there was a wonderful article by Rhiannon Jones, who is a UX writer at Deliveroo. And she said that, well, we know that error messages are not given enough attention. And then she says, well, they're written by different people, from engineers to product designers at different times, following different guidelines, with different goals in mind. And it gets to the point where it becomes abrupt when it should be warm, and becomes overfamiliar when it should be calm, right? And I think it really hits the point, because throughout my, I guess, like 5-6 years of exploring form design and all of that, it's always that thing. This is always the root of the problem. It's not that somebody decided that it's, we're going to write messages like this. It's just a lot of people do chaotically whatever they feel like at different points of different touch points in different parts of the, user experience as they're designing it, right? And in the end, though, of course, when it comes to those messages, they're the nuts, the bolts, the sticky tape, the everything. And when they don't do their job, then everything you're trying to build just falls down. So we kind of have to get this right. Right? And I think that just to get a sense about what the problems typically are, this is definitely not complete, but very quite sophisticated overview of what actually is a problem that brings people to not being able to deal with error messages. And what does it mean to have a poor error message? Now, typically that means generic. We use the same error message for everything, right? That happens quite a bit. It can also be unclear or ambiguous, where there is something that's written, but you don't really know what to do with it. You can have some technical jargon, inappropriate tone, you're facing a critical error, and then somebody's trying to make a joke at you in an error message that's just really weird and strange. Sometimes you're going to blame the user, sometimes you're going to blame a third party that doesn't respond, or anything like that. And that doesn't help either. It's like, oh, that person or that particular instance is wrong. Okay, so what do I do now, right? Sometimes it's not having any actionable advice that you can deal with. Also, it's very difficult to see or to find sometimes. We'll talk about those things in a bit more detail. Excessive length, missing error code. Sometimes it might be very helpful for customer service to know what kind of error occurred. Poor accessibility, inconsistent messaging, poor timing, which leads potentially to loss of data as somebody is doing something in the application. And then sometimes you get this error messages hidden somehow in tooltips or in toasts, negative language, and kind of catch-all messages and things like that. Say what happened, say why it happened, provide reassurance, give a way out, help people fix it. Good error messages have these purposes or these features. Say what happened, say why it happened, provide reassurance, help people fix it, give people a way out, and they are a part of a product lifecycle. They don't disappear automatically. They're not hidden in a tooltip or toast. You can always consult them as you're trying to edit your input. They're accompanied by an icon, and they're accessible when people are trying to make a mistake, to edit a mistake or fix a mistake.